It's 3 in the morning. You're lying in the dark, and your mind won't stop. What if I lose my job? What if that conversation went wrong? What if I can't pay the bills next month? What if? Worry is a prison, and you are trapped inside it, torturing yourself with futures that will probably never happen. But what if I told you there's a way out? A simple rule, as ancient as Rome, so powerful, it changed emperors, slaves, and everyone who understood it. A rule that, when you truly absorb it, doesn't just relieve worry, it destroys it at the root. Today, you will learn the most liberating tool of Stoicism. And by the time you finish this video, you will never see your worries the same way again. Let's be honest about what worry really is. It's not planning. It's not preparation. It's not care. Worry is you spending mental energy on things you cannot control, while pretending that worrying changes anything. Have you ever noticed 90% of the things you worry about never happen? And for the 10% that do, worrying beforehand didn't help at all. But here's the worst part. Worry isn't just useless. It's destructive. It paralyzes you. It drains your energy. It makes you make bad decisions or no decision at all. And the most ironic part, you worry because you think it protects you from surprises. But the only thing worry guarantees is that you suffer twice. Once in your imagination, and again if the event actually happens. Rome, 170 AD. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the world's greatest empire, is on a military campaign. His armies face barbarian tribes on the Danube. Thousands of soldiers depend on him. And every night, after the battles, he writes. Not decrees, not orders, but reflections for himself. And on one of these nights, he writes something that echoes through the centuries. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the essence of the Stoic Golden Rule, and it has a technical name, the Dichotomy of Control. It sounds simple, but when you truly understand it, it's revolutionary. The Dichotomy of Control says this: divide everything in your life into 2 categories. Category 1, things under your control. Category 2, things outside your control. And here is the golden rule. Invest 100% of your energy in Category 1 and 0% in Category 2. Sound obvious? Then why do you spend hours worrying about what your boss thinks, about what your ex is doing, about whether it will rain on your wedding day, about the economy, about politics? None of these things are under your control. 0. But here is what is under your control: your actions, your responses, your choices, your effort, your perception. And when you shift all your energy from what you don't control to what you do control, something magical happens. Worry disappears. Before Marcus Aurelius, there was Epictetus. Epictetus was not an emperor. He was a slave, born in chains, owned by another man, until his owner, in a fit of rage, broke his leg and it never healed properly. Epictetus spent the rest of his life with a limp, and he became one of the freest philosophers who ever lived. How? The dichotomy of control. He said, it's not events that disturb people, but their judgment of them. He didn't control being a slave, but he controlled how he viewed slavery. He didn't control his broken leg, but he controlled whether it would define him. And here is the most powerful part. Epictetus taught that freedom is not the absence of obstacles. Freedom is the total acceptance of what you cannot change, and the absolute mastery of what you can. A physical slave, a mentally free man, while his owner with all the power in the world, was a prisoner of his own desires. So let's do this right now with me. Think about your biggest worry right now, the thing that keeps you up at night. Now ask, what exactly is under my control here? For example, you're worried about money. Do you control the economy? No. Do you control if your boss will give you a raise? No. Do you control if you'll win the lottery? No. But you do control a few things. You control whether you'll work on that extra project. You control whether you'll learn a new skill. You control whether you'll cut unnecessary expenses. You control whether you'll have that difficult conversation about your salary. See the difference? 90% of the worry about money is about things you don't control, and that worry is 100% useless. The 10% you do control, that's where all of your energy should be. And when you put it there, the worry evaporates because you are taking action. And action is the antidote to anxiety. But here is where most people get it wrong. They confuse worrying with controlling. In the video on anxiety, we explored how anxiety traps us in an imaginary future. Worry does the same thing. It creates the illusion that you are doing something, that obsessively thinking about the problem is a form of solving it. But it's not. Worrying about others' opinions doesn't change their opinions. Worrying about an exam result doesn't improve your grade. Worrying about the health of someone you love doesn't heal them. What changes things? Action in the areas under your control. Studying for the exam, having honest conversations with people, making healthy choices for yourself. But here is where most people get it wrong. They confuse worrying with controlling.
Seneca, another Stoic giant, lived a paradoxical life. He was an advisor to the Emperor Nero, one of the richest men in Rome. Power, influence, luxury. But he knew something that everyone around him ignored. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about it. How many times have you spent days agonizing over a difficult conversation, and when you finally had it, it was far less terrible than you imagined? How many times have you lost sleep over a problem that either solved itself or never happened at all? Seneca saw this in himself and everyone around him. Emperors with absolute power, tortured by imaginary fears. The wealthy with everything, miserable over worries that never came true. And he realized the fundamental truth. Most of our suffering doesn't come from the world. It comes from our out-of-control imagination. And the dichotomy of control is the cage that tames this wild imagination. So here is the technique, the practical tool you can use right now. Every night before bed, take out a piece of paper or open the Notes app on your phone. Make 2 columns. Column 1, outside my control. Column 2, under my control. Now list everything that is worrying you. Everything. And honestly, brutally, place each item in the correct column. Worried about what someone thinks of you? Column 1, outside your control. Worried if it will rain tomorrow? Column 1. Worried about the elections? Column 1. Worried about the global economy? Column 1. Now look at column 2. What can you control? You can control if you prepare for the meeting. You can control if you have that conversation. You can control if you exercise today. And here's the magic. When you see it all written down, you realize something devastating. 95% of your worries are in column 1, and you are spending 95% of your energy on them. When you truly absorb the dichotomy of control, something changes. You stop fighting with reality.
Because fighting what you can't control is like fighting gravity. You only get hurt. You stop living in an imaginary future, because the future is not under your control. Only this moment is. You stop depending on external validation, because the opinions of others are not under your control. Only your actions are. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to control everything, you gain more control than ever before. Because now your energy isn't scattered in 1,000 useless directions. It's focused like a laser on the few things that truly matter. Your choices, your responses, your character. And those have always been under your control. You were just too busy worrying about everything else to notice. Marcus Aurelius spent his entire life practicing this. And in the end, he faced the ultimate test. His son Commodus was everything he was not. Cruel, selfish, uncontrolled. And Marcus knew that when he died, Commodus would be emperor. He didn't control that. He didn't control who his son would become. He didn't control what Commodus would do with the empire he loved. And that realization set him free. He wrote, "Accept everything that happens, even if it seems disagreeable, because it leads to the health of the universe." This is not resignation. This is wisdom. It is the understanding that the universe does not operate according to your preferences, and that fighting this is the recipe for eternal suffering. But accepting what you cannot control and mastering what you can, that is freedom. That is peace. That is real power. So here is the golden rule that eliminates worry. Identify what is under your control and put 100% of your energy there. Identify what is outside your control and let it go completely. Simple? Yes. Easy? No. Because it requires daily practice, constant vigilance, the courage to accept what you cannot change. But when you master this, you are not just free from worry. You are free from almost everything that holds you back. If this video changed something in you, leave a comment below. Ephemen olefhemen, ancient Greek for what is in our power and what is not in our power. The phrase that summarized the dichotomy of control for the original Stoics. This is the journey of the human codex. To extract ancient wisdom, to make it applicable today, and to give you the tools to build an unshakable mind. Go now, and may control over your own mind be the one thing you never surrender.